Dr. William Luther Pierce, 1997. The Lesson of Haiti.
Hello. This month, the last of the United Nations peacekeeping troops in Haiti will leave, and the Haitians will be given yet another chance to try to govern themselves. The peacekeepers occupied Haiti along with 23,000 U.S. troops 3 years ago in order to force the government of General Raoul Cedras to resign so that a Clinton favorite, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, could be installed as president. The reasons presented to the American public for this interference in Haiti's affairs were that General Cedras was a dictator and that he didn't respect the human rights of the Haitians. Mr. Clinton's friend Aristide, on the other hand, was said to be a Democrat and a respecter of human rights. Actually, Aristide is a former priest-turned-Marxist whose idea of respecting human rights is to incite mobs of his supporters to murder his political opponents by breaking their arms, wiring a gasoline-soaked tire around their necks, and burning them to death, a procedure known as necklacing. Well, really, that's about par for making a country safe for democracy the United Nations way. Anyway, the Haitians didn't care much more for Mr. Clinton's Marxist buddy Aristide than they did for General Cedras. And so Aristide is out of office again, and the Haitians are about to be allowed to run things themselves once more. Well, almost. 500 U.S. troops will remain in the country to keep an eye on things and call for more help if the need to make Haiti safe for democracy arises again. The Clintonistas aren't bragging very loudly about the success of their latest effort in that direction because the situation in Haiti is just about as grim today as it was before the United Nations stuck its nose into things there 3 years ago. About the only really significant change is that the flood of Haitian boat people washing up on Florida's beaches has slowed to a trickle. But that flood was caused in the first place by an embargo imposed on Haiti by the U.S. government in an unsuccessful attempt to force General Cedras out, and the consequent damage to Haiti's already pitifully weak economy. When the embargo was removed, the Haitians decided to stay at home and share in the new goodies brought to them by the Clinton administration. The U.S. troops built roads, schools, and clinics, and pumped a few billion U.S. dollars into the Haitian economy. But a survey of the results of all of this effort is not encouraging. The streets of Port-au-Prince still reek of garbage and human waste. Political corruption is as bad as it ever was, and violent crime is on the rise. The new roads and clinics built by the United States merely add a superficial appearance of improvement so that the tourist industry is able to begin making a little money again. But the basic situation in Haiti and the lives of most Haitians remain unchanged. You know, this sort of thing has happened over and over again. It seems that we would have learned something from it. In the 18th century, Haiti, then called Saint-Domingue and ruled by the French, was the most prosperous colony in the New World. Its enormously fertile soil produced a great abundance of crops and drew thousands of French settlers there from Europe. The madness of the French Revolution, with its truly nutty doctrine of racial equality, infected many of the Frenchmen in the colony, however, and the black plantation workers were encouraged to revolt. When they did, they brutally murdered every white man, woman, and child in the colony and declared Haiti a republic. And what had been the richest and most productive part of the New World promptly sank back to an African level of squalor, misery, and poverty. The roads and cities built by the French fell into ruin. A peculiarly African mixture of anarchy and despotism took the place of French law and order. A little over a century later, in 1915, following an especially chaotic and bloody period, U.S. Marines were sent into Haiti to force a semblance of order on the country. The reason for sending them was to safeguard American business interests in Haiti, although President Wilson told Americans that the Marines were being sent to bring democracy to Haiti. The Marines remained in Haiti for 19 years. They not only enforced governmental stability there, but they also built schools and hospitals, a modern telephone system, and more than 1,000 miles of paved roads with 210 bridges. The U.S. government trained Haitian teachers and doctors. We really gave the Haitians the basis for a fresh start. As soon as the U.S. Marines pulled out in 1934, however, the Haitians returned to their own way of doing things, which is to say, to indolence, corruption, and voodoo. Everything the Americans had built for them gradually returned to the jungle. In 1958, the United States sent the Marines to Haiti again, this time with the aim of rebuilding the country's economy and infrastructure so that it would not succumb to communist influences. We propped up the regime of Papa Doc Duvalier, who had been trained in medicine during our first incursion into Haiti, but who was a practitioner of voodoo as well as a brutal and bloody dictator. Again, we spent hundreds of millions of dollars rebuilding what the Haitians had wrecked and training thousands of them in the skills needed to keep the country running. But when we pulled out again, the country immediately returned to its old ways, its African ways. And in 1994, we tried the same foolishness all over again, claiming that we were restoring democracy to Haiti. Why can't we accept the plain and simple truth that it is as impossible to make Democrats out of the Haitians as it is to teach them how to maintain their own roads? Why can't we understand that the Haitians are fundamentally different from us, that they are Africans, not Europeans like us, that they are Negroes, and that left to themselves they must do things in the way Negroes always have done them, with indolence, corruption, and voodoo?